I think we're good to go, y'all. Hold on, let me move the mic. 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 Like, then let me make sure like things are good. Like, yo, I'm kind of excited because of the fact that like I'm actually doing. Where's the volume adjustment on this? Hold on, yo, hold on. We need a 10-minute recess. No, I'm playing. right, right, Mike. Um, percentage. Yeah, we're good to go. Hello, you guys. Welcome back to the Cake Radio. I'm about to say the Cake Radio Show. I have been doing a pre-recorded Cake Radio Show episode in like 2 weeks. I need to get on that. People have been telling me to get in the studio. It's getting it's getting a little spooky wooky. But hey guys, I am here on the third or fourth stream of Cake Radio Live. I was gonna say Cake Radio Office Hours. First I went, it's not Cake Radio Show. It's not the Cake Radio. It's not Cake Radio Live. Well, it is Cake Radio Live. Sound it out. I'm finding it. It's not Cake Radio Show, and it's not Cake Radio Office Hours. This is the Big Brother recaps on Cake Radio Live. Um, I want to make sure that like I hop into things without like doing the dilly dallying and all that stuff. But yeah, how are we doing, chat? How are we doing? We're on. I think I'm on everything. I need to make sure that like we're all good to go on everything. I promoted it to the oomph. I gotta do my tweets. I gotta get in my Zoom. Like the girls been telling me I need to do my little promo. Like the girls was like, oh, like I didn't know that you was doing the streams and stuff. Like I need you to get on your Zoom and like do what you need to do. And I'm like, ooh. They say you need to get in the studio. I was like, ooh, me? um, but no, like, how are we doing, guys? It's another live stream. I've been getting into the groove lately. Y'all should give me some props. I've been getting in the groove lately. I, I haven't done streams this often, like ever, really. Because again, I've tried doing streams and stuff before, and I've been so inconsistent with them. But now that like I've done them here on the Cake Radio show or on Cake Radio, and there's a lot of things to talk about now with pop culture. I think it's also because I like doing pop culture and movie stuff. Now I feel like I found my groove with the things, and I'm really happy about that. I hope you guys are enjoying the streams. Um, I will say the girls really enjoyed, or it seemed like the girls was really enjoying the stream I did talking about um, Smurfs for office hours like a couple of days ago, which kind of excited me. Maybe I'll do more streams talking about movies and stuff like that, or only when it's trending. Maybe the girls really wanted to know like if Rihanna was Smurf, and the answer was yes. But no, I'm we're here, like we streaming, and I am going to talk about Big Brother, because last time for the first episode, the season premiere of Big Brother season 27, I was like, oh, we are going to do live streams going forward for the recaps, and it was like a decision that I wanted to do. One, because of the fact that I know with recaps, like recaps can be very long because there's a lot to talk about in an episode. There's a lot of like decipher an episode and stuff like that. And if you're talking about multiple things in an episode, unless you like are doing notes and stuff like that, it's very easy to like get past the 1 hour mark for those. Same thing with some of the reviews. Unless I have like concise notes and stuff like that, it is very easy for me to yap past like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Last time I did like 30 minutes of review was back when I was trying to do Real Housewives of Atlanta recaps and stuff for the most recent season, which the girls wasn't feeling, but um, I am But we're here for Big Brother. I wanted to talk about Big Brother because Big Brother is one of the shows. Like it's one of the shows. Um, I I missed the curve with Love Island, and I also didn't want to get a Peacock subscription. I didn't want to pay for a Peacock subscription. Let me say that. Let me specify. Peacock, if you want to do a little sponsorship deal or something, something for me, next season I got you. Love Island USA, you got me. I got you. But I don't really want to pay out of pocket for a Peacock subscription like that. Plus, it's also a lot of work. Like that. Love Island is that. It seemed like that was every day. The girls were saying that was like every day except for Wednesdays because y'all wasn't watching what After Sun. I didn't want to do streams every day. I barely. I'm gonna be honest with you. Y'all know I keep it real. I barely wanted to do the like Vogsmith stuff when I was doing. That's a lie. Well, no, because I enjoyed doing the different topics and stuff like that, and some of the topics y'all did enjoy. But I think the concept of doing like several things a day, I don't have the time for that, y'all. I'm a college student, y'all, like I can't do that. But yeah, I wanted to talk about Big Brother. It's been a minute, and there's been several episodes since the season premiere. As I talked about before, I am really bad with reviewing TV, and catching up with TV. So I was like, yo, I literally announced that I was gonna be doing recaps, and I didn't want to do what I did with Real Housewives, in which I was like following it for 2 episodes and then dropped it. I want to try to commit to at least a full season of recaps to see like, oh, like this is something that people want, or if it's not something that people want. I don't know if it's a show or if it's just because of the recaps, but I wanted to have something because I like to experiment. I like to see what the girls I like, and I want to see what my bakers are into. Um, and yeah, plus I want to do the streaming stuff a lot more. I want to like give y'all the streams and like have interact with y'all in this way because there is that more direct and like real time interaction that you get with me and you the audience. There will be more streams, I can promise you that. Both for the recap as well as for like office hours and for the other like stuff that I'll do for live streams. I know for like the other streaming platforms that are not YouTube, you also probably will be getting recaps of or like reruns of Cake Radio episodes. So if you don't get to see it when it premieres on like YouTube and podcast platforms, you might be able to see it live, quote unquote, on Twitch and on other platforms, which I think is going to be fun. And other stuff will be coming out for like live streams and stuff as well. Like this week, this Thursday, I believe, either this Thursday or this Friday. I'll have to confirm. The premiere of Two Better Friends cast is coming. So if you guys are unaware, me and my close friend Leo Does Voices, very frequent collaborators and stuff like that, we filmed a pilot for a new podcast for Cake Radio called Two Better Friends Cast. And we recorded that last week, and that's dropping this week, this Thursday or Friday. I'll confirm with you guys, and I'll give you guys the exclusive. So that's gonna premiere live on Cake Radio Live, everywhere you stream Cake Radio Live. But yeah, a lot of streams and stuff coming up. I'm excited for y'all to get these streams. Y'all get on y'all Zooms, y'all get on these streams, do the thing. But no, I want to hop on and talk about Big Brother. So last time I talked to y'all about Big Brother, it was season premiere. We're introduced to the house guests. It was me and Aiden talking about it. We were both talking about the house guests, what we thought about the house guests, and all this different stuff. And obviously, several episodes have changed since then. And the most recent episode just premiered, a few minutes ago, more like 30 minutes ago. So I'm gonna give you guys first of all, I'm gonna give you guys Aiden's thoughts. Because Aiden obviously isn't joining me this stream. He said that he will probably be joining in on the stream for the Big Brother recap for this Thursday, which is elimination. I believe it's elimination night. But he did give me some notes for like the episodes leading up to today's episode, and wanted me to like share with the class. Because he really enjoyed doing the streams. I enjoyed or he enjoyed doing the recap the first time we did it. I enjoyed having him on. I always love having a guest or something on the podcast and like doing the streams and stuff like that. So I'm excited for him to join me for the live streams, and I hope you guys enjoy having him on for the live streams. But these were Aiden's thoughts, and I'm pulling this from our DMs. He said, "Okay, I know you never said yes to wanting my predictions, but here they are. Feel free to talk about live or not." Kelly goes if Zay or AB wins. If Kelly, and this was for the previous episodes. Obviously, we know what's going on now. So like, this is what he said before the most recent episodes. He said Kelly goes if Zay or Amy win. If Kelly wins, Zay goes. Kelly made some insane decisions that she should have learned on the last season twice. Palms go home. Keanu's in trouble right now. Amy's doing surprisingly well for being on the block. Zay isn't doing great, but I don't see him as an immediate boot. Next week, if he stays, he can recover. Vince is a big target, I'm thinking. Rachel, I don't think they're kicking out, which is a big mistake. She's a huge threat. Ashley was losing it, but I think she can also recover. Jimmy is shooting himself in the foot and needs to be careful, drawing too much attention and making too many fights too early. Mickey and Morgan are still my predicted winners. So that is Aiden's thoughts leading up to this episode. I will also say that he has not seen tonight's episode. And obviously this is before like we got the decisions and reveals of who the first week eliminations were, which was, again, spoilers if you have not seen the episode, but Zay went home. Zay was the one that ended up going home. Ashley won the veto and stayed off the block. Kelly won, and obviously Zay went. So Aiden was correct with the predictions. Congrats, Aiden. Keanu definitely is, well, leading up to today's episode, Keanu was in trouble. And I do agree with him in which Amy's doing like surprisingly well. Amy is someone as a house guest who has been kind of hiding in the shadows, and she's also been giving us the mess, which I really love. My favorites of the season have been Amy. Who else? Mickey. Mickey was day one fave for me because baby Mickey T, personalities T, she is fun to watch. Wait, Amy. Did I say Amy? No, I meant Ava. Ava is one of my favorites. Ava, Mickey. Keanu was kind of interesting, but like seeing some of the life feed clips, I'm like, I don't know. I've kind of fallen off the Keanu train. But I think he makes good entertainment, especially in the cable cuts that we get for the main episodes. And I kind of like Vince. Vince is kind of annoying, but like I kind of like him. Oh, you know who my main fave is? Okay, wait. This is my top three. Ava, Mickey, and Will. Those are my big three. Will is funny. Will is like also like very charismatic. I also thought when it was first week eliminations night and it was Mickey and Will like passing each other, the little dancey dance they did was really cute. Love them. I need them to stay a little bit longer in the season, I'm hoping. And then Ava is also like really hilarious to me because she is the real stunt queen of the season. Like I know a lot of people are talking about Jimmy, and I will get to Jimmy very very soon. Because I certainly have thoughts. Positive, I don't know. But Ava really gets to move around and play the stunt queen, like play the bone collector. Like she literally got the Keanu versus Jimmy beef started just by being like, "Oh, I'm not picking a side," and she like hates Keanu because Keanu's like annoying her and always in her personal space, and she really likes Jimmy because like we'll get to that, but also because Ava wants to win. Like Ava is strategizing, and I also think that the way she strategizes is hilarious. Like with this week's episode, with the challenge that involved like the End of Dark challenge, in which they were trying to find the keys and the different like stuff like that, which I will recap. Her just basically sitting it out because she didn't like the dark and she was not trying to fight with them people, I thought was hilarious as hell. Me personally, I thought that was funny. Um, and then there's obviously like that's kind of my big faves. When it comes to today's episode, which I got a recap, of course. Well, okay, let me do quick recaps of what has happened before in the previous episode, since I didn't get to do that with the previous like recaps because it's the first recap live. After the season premiere, obviously Vince was head of household, nominated, you know, everybody. Zay is the one that went home. The Keanu versus Jimmy beef begins and kicks off. Jimmy has it out for Keanu because he's like, oh, like, you're talking behind my back, and you, like, he did that very, like, over exaggerated speech saying, like, oh, like, the only thing fake about me is these sunglasses. Which, if you saw the live feeds or you saw that on social media, you saw that he rehearsed that for like a good 10-15 minutes before he got the speech. You know, practice makes perfect, I guess. And on today's episode, what happened was obviously the house is reeling from Zay's departure. Um, Keanu suggests that Will was the one that changed the vote and broke away from the group, which Will didn't do. Um, then there is the brewing beef between Jimmy and Keanu that continues to boil over. Jimmy really kind of has it out for Keanu, and Keanu really does not care, at least from what it seems on the. Well, okay, he cares to the point in which like he wants to stay in the house, and he's like, I need to get HOH. But he doesn't really care about Jimmy that much, which I will dig into like why I think that's funny. The challenge for the episode was the In the Dark challenge, so they basically are looking for the key, like a key, and then some different little like MacGuffins. And if they find it and place it in a certain little keyhole, whoever gets the main key, the actual key, becomes HOH, and then the others who find the other like MacGuffins are able to get powers essentially. And we figure out who gets the powers and who becomes HOH. Jimmy is HOH of this week, unfortunately, and he obviously has it out for Keanu, but he's also trying to sniff out who has the powers this episode. Um, you still have Zach, who has one of the previous powers from the early on in the season, where he has the 10K. This was one before the challenge. This was one in the first episode, but he has the 10K, in which if he's put on the block, he can essentially um, give the person who like nominates him on the block, like the HOH, the $10,000 to basically like buy his way off of the block. He hasn't used it yet. He can still use it sometime this season, and it could be used to his advantage. But he has not been put on the block yet. Um, Speaking of Zach, he was crying over Zay leaving, which I thought was ridiculous. You just met that man 2 seconds ago, and 10 days. It's been 10 days. Um, but you crying and sobbing over that man. Okay, mind you, I thought Zay was one of the most like one of the few uninteresting house guests on the show. That and some of the white girls, but I'll dig into that later. Um, so Zach has that power that he got earlier on in the season. You also have what was it? Mickey got a power, and Mickey's power was basically the secret HOH. And essentially, what she was able to do with this power is that, um, basically, Jimmy is the current HOH. She can nominate um, different people to go on the block behind his back, and he basically has 3 minutes to question every one of the house guests after these nominations come forward to essentially like figure out who is the secret HOH. If he figures out that she's the HOH, the like secret HOH, not only is she exposed and can get put on the block, but the nominations are reversed back to the original ones that Jimmy selected. Um, and then who else got a power up? I'm blanking on who else. There was the other dude who got the power up, which was the I'm blanking on it. This is really pissing me off now. See, the problem is I'm bad with names, but there was also another power up that was picked up. Keanu got a power up, which was the um, power up in which, like, basically for one of the challenges, if he's put up for elimination and has to fight for the veto, he can essentially like send one of the previous challengers from one of the previous seasons out to compete on his behalf to win the veto. Um, I've heard some tea, which I will dig into eventually on the stream. That may be important to the plot later, but he has that in his pocket. Um, and again, I'm blanking. I believe that there's another person who got a power up. If someone is in the chat, please let me know if you remember like who got this power up. But I believe there was another power up that was like, oh, it was the white girl. Wait, what the fuck is her name? But she got the veto. I'm blanking on her name right now. It's pissing me off. I think it's. Oh my gosh, let me find it. I'm finding it. I'm finding it, guys. Why am I blanking on the name? Is that it's really pissing me off that I'm blanking on the name right now. But that one girl won the veto. Let's move on. Jimmy picks his eliminations. Well, Jimmy was trying to figure out who had the powers and was questioning a lot of people. He also was really questioning Adrian. Mind you, Adrian ain't really done nothing worth of nothing this season yet. And for some reason, Jimmy thought that either Jimmy wanted to use Adrian as the pawn because he wasn't sure if he like actually like he just wanted to put Adrian up essentially to be like the diversion essentially. And Adrian's nervous because like I can get sent home, which is true. Pawns do get sent home. He's aware of this because he's a Big Brother fan. He's also a really huge nerd, which I questioned in the season premiere, but he seems like a nerd. Eliminations, or like the people who are up for the eliminations on the block this week, are Keanu, obviously, Adrian, which I also just mentioned, and then it was that one white girl who got the veto, and everyone like they're nervous. Well, Keanu is the only one that's not really nervous. Adrian's nervous, obviously, because of the fact that he could get sent home for being the pawn, and that's bad because you're the pawn and pawns get sent home. And also you're looking at this and you're like, oh, he very well could get sent home because you have Keanu, who has the chance at winning the veto because he can send out one of these challengers from the previous seasons and win it. You also have the other girl. I'm hating that I'm blanking on the name. This is pissing me off. This is bad for a recap because y'all gonna look at me and be like, why are we listening to this dude? But anyways, yeah, the other girl who won the veto. Aiden probably listening to the stream is probably gonna text me, being like, why couldn't you remember this girl's name? But you have the other girl on the block who has the veto, and can just like, if she doesn't win the veto in the two chances that she gets, she can just use the power up that she has already for the veto. So it literally just falls to Adrian, and then it falls down to Adrian and whoever else gets put on the block going forward. Because rumors, I'm gonna say rumors allegedly. Spoilers ahead. If you don't want to hear these spoilers and rumors before the episode drops, please drop the call. Well, I was gonna say please drop the call, like y'all on the call. Let's give Megan Thee Stallion. I'm gonna call y'all back, but no. If y'all don't want to hear the rumors, or if y'all like drop the video. But allegedly, Keanu wins the veto in today's on. So that just leaves Adrian for real, because we know that the one other person that has a veto is going to use the veto eventually to stay off the block. So, especially considering that she's been on the block before. But, so it's really just Adrian versus whoever else gets put on the block. So we will see what happens for the next episode this Thursday when it comes to like the battle for eliminations. And now I gotta talk about the Jimmy of it all. Because Jimmy, I've been having conversations about Jimmy. And a lot of people have been asking me, a lot of my friends personally have been asking me, like, what my thoughts on Jimmy is. Because as, Jimmy and I are on the same team, if that makes sense. But not really. Because as someone who's black, there's something that sets us apart. So I'm sitting here like, I think there's something that we share in common. um, but no, Jimmy as an individual. Wait, this just reminded me. I remember sometime like I was doing. I think it was the Kamala Harris. Like it was me talking about Kamala Harris and Megan Thee Stallion when Megan Thee Stallion performed at like one of Kamala Harris's rallies. And I remember I did that episode, and someone in the comments was like, "Oh, like I like the topic, but you just sound too gay." Mind you, I didn't even mention being gay or anything in the video. I was just like, "Whoa!" Like my tea was clogged. What happened, guys? But no, basically, my thoughts on Jimmy as an individual is that, or obviously, as you could tell, like both in the interviews leading up to the season and the throughout the season so far, Jimmy has like set himself up to be like the mean gay. And he wants to be like the mean gay of Big Brother from how he's talking. He wants to be the person that like gags live, really like shakes the house and really like takes it. He wants to be the winner of Big Brother, as everyone else in the house wants to be. But so far in this season, he really hasn't delivered. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna be like ridiculously strict and pretend like he's not making good entertainment. He's making great entertainment. He is someone who has already gotten to fights with Rachel. He's also gotten fights with Keanu, and he's also kind of had some tepid moments with like Vince and some of the other house guests. And obviously, like we're getting this big storyline so far in which it's him versus Keanu that has kicked off because he's like, oh, like now you're talking about me behind my back and stuff like that. He rehearsed a little speech. Keanu's like, let me get HOH to protect myself. He doesn't get HOH. Jimmy gets HOH, and obviously there's the fighting chance that Keanu gets the veto. So there's gonna be that reoccurring thing throughout the season where it's gonna be Jimmy versus Keanu because Jimmy's gonna be gunning it towards Keanu, and Keanu really doesn't care. Jimmy's gonna not Jimmy win. So it's gonna be this really interesting battle to see who wins and who loses. And I personally think that Jimmy's gonna lose. The biggest issue here is that for me, I don't really like Jimmy because okay, I remember the first, and you could probably roll back to the first season premiere recap when I was asked about Jimmy. Jimmy looks like the type of like white gay that doesn't like black people, and I kind of had a feeling about this because of how, well, one, he kind of has the look. There's like a look that certain white gays have that's like, oh, not only do you not date, you know, black men or black queer men, but also I feel like you also low key don't like black people. Like you kind of like he kind of has a look. Um, and in the first episode, obviously like there's production and stuff like that, but the way he really wasn't trying to interact with like Mickey or like Will, he only really interacted with Mickey once like she got lumped into the Triple Threat Alliance. And from like a lot of the interviews and stuff that were like confessionals that he's done so far, it just seems like he is willing to tolerate Mickey until like something happens and he needs to turn on her, and that kind of makes me feel some type of way. So there's that, but I also feel like it's one of the things that I feel about Mean Gays. I've talked about Mean Gays before on Cake Radio. Cake Radio show, the Keys Crawford versus Style drama. I talked about how, oh, there's someone like Keys is the problem, but y'all all Mean Gays, and this is just a consequence of the path that y'all have fallen on. As someone who used to be fairly mean, I I'm aware and has also been around some mean gays. I'm aware of how this works and how people move with this and the art of being a mean gay. Because the truth is, being a mean gay, you have to you can't like you it's show not tell. That's the thing. You have to be a mean gay effortlessly Because the thing is, like, if you are a mean gay naturally, like you just born with it, that's gaggy. Like you can, and and people can't really do too much about that. Like, oh, you just serving, you start showing the serves, you giving the girls what they need to give, you clocking the girls. Like, people really can't check you because you just got it. And if they do try to check you, you serving it right on back, and they can't really do too much about that. They can't check you because you cannot be checked. Like, who's gonna check me, boo? Like, there is effort within. Well, it's natural effort. It comes naturally. You really are just born with it, or like you just come out like that. Um, but I also feel like there's the natural mean gays in which, like, you really can't do too much about it. You either love them or you love to hate them. And then there's like quote unquote mean gays. And these are the people that I've talked about and I've kind of clocked. Because these are the type of like gays who basically like want to be mean gays and want to be like the natural mean gays, um and are trying very hard to be mean gays, but it just doesn't come out right. Either they say something that's like really offensive and hurts somebody's feelings for real, and it's not like a tasteful read, or oh, they're trying really hard and they just get into situations that they don't need to be in because they want to try to, like, they getting themselves in trouble because it's not natural. And then also just generically, like, they are just trying way too hard. Jimmy is someone who you can tell isn't really a mean gay naturally, but is trying really hard to be a mean gay, especially for the show. And it's just not working because Jimmy is not really an interesting individual. Like, he's entertainment. He's giving us the fights and stuff that we like want out of Big Brother, and he's giving us entertainment early on. We're done with week 1. We're entering week 2, and there's already been fights between him and Rachel and him and Keanu. But the biggest issue is that he has put a target on his back, and he's not going to have any friends on his corner once he gets put on the block. Because while people don't really like Keanu, like some people like tolerate Keanu, and some people like Keanu because of the fact that he's like brawny, and also like he's brawn and he's also fairly nerdy. And I think people will be willing to let him stick around a little bit because of that. Jimmy doesn't really have much outside of like some of the early momentum that he's gotten by winning some of the challenges. Outside of that, like, I feel like if he gets put on the block, he does not have any safeties behind him. He is gone, and he will just have to live with that. Additionally, I just feel like he is also trying too hard to like read and challenge the people, and it's just not it's not gagging. Like, him coming at Rachel, like, as soon as Rachel comes in the house, like, obviously we know that Rachel being back in this season is, it's gonna be a challenge because people love Rachel, but also Rachel is a very dangerous opponent because she has played Big Brother before. She knows how to win the game, and she also, again, is not only likable by the audience but is likable by the people in the house. So that is something that she could use to her advantage and could eventually win the game. Now, I don't think she will win the game because I think people will become savvy and be like, okay, Rachel needs to go. But I think people, including the producers, will keep her along because she makes good she makes good TV. I'm not even gonna hold you. Um, and Jimmy day one was already like, oh, but like, oh, we need to get Rachel at the house because Rachel's a threat to us. Like, yes, we know that. Both the audience and the house guests are aware of that. But you already pulling her aside and already starting trouble with her, and then going back and being like, you know what? Let me stick you by the hip. Let's work together a little bit. It's like, And then the Keanu drama, like, obviously, like, that started because Ava was being messy, and fueled the flame. But the fact that, like, you are already trying to gun for somebody so publicly in this matter, like, less than a week in, is crazy. And I think that, again, like, the speech that he rehearsed, that we saw him rehearse for the 5-10 minutes and stuff on the live feed before he did the speech, was it was so boring. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, I wasn't gagging. It was such a boring speech that he did. Like, it could have been a lot more, like, and it's because of the fact that I feel like he's disingenuous. Like, I feel like the speech didn't have enough energy to it. You couldn't really tell like he was like for real hurt. Like there wasn't much emotion to it. Like it was just like, oh, I'm doing this for the bit. Like I'm doing this because like I know it'll make good TV. And like that's the thing. Like I feel like I think that like there's a difference between being America's favorite and like legitimately like wowing the girls, like really tuning in and really giving us like what needs to be gave, really being likable and really making good entertainment, like a Rachel is doing, like what Rachel has been doing so far this season, and like no, like thinking that you know what will get America talking, getting America like excited, and then doing it, and it's kind of falling on deaf ears, like Rachel has been making great entertainment because of the fact that like she just naturally is that girl. Like she knows that she's the queen, and she's like, y'all need to bow down, or you gonna get your head cut, cut water, cut. You know, um, literally the argument that she had with Zay before Zay was eliminated, she was like, Zay was like, I know what you're doing, I know you're trying to like get the votes up so you can get me out of here, but you're not gonna get me out of here. And her response being, "Oh, you're gonna come against me. That's gonna cost you. And if you're gonna come at me, at least come at me when I have my gown on, at least when I'm looking good." And she said, send all the bitches home. Send the bitches home. Like she sent Zay home. She sent Zay packing, as she said. Like literally acted on her word as soon like come against Rachel is gonna cost you. Like it came naturally, and it made like it was an enjoyable thing to see as someone who thinks that Rachel is really good TV. Um, and I think that also like Rachel's been like good TV on this season because of the fact that it's a lot more toned down. She's obviously older. She's obviously a mom, so she has a lot of like there's a lot more to her this season compared to the last seasons she's been on. Um, and I think that makes it. I think that gives it a little bit more heart and a lot more energy. And again, like we know that she's a queen. We bow now. Um, and she knows that too, and that makes it good. Like she knows that, but it's also coming off effortlessly. Like she doesn't have to try too hard doing it. She just knows that she's that girl, and is moving accordingly. Jimmy feels like he's that guy, but he's not moving like his heart's in it. Like the way that like people talk about Chloe Bailey, not like no like then they be like, oh, like her heart's in it, like she's not actually like this. Is how I feel about Jimmy. Like, oh, like his heart's not in this. He not really a mean gay. Like he seemed like he seemed like the little like the femme gay that like you love at the little drag brunches at the brunch that you queen out with at the like. He looked like someone who might get into some like. I think he's an Addison Rae fan. I'm gonna go out on a limb. He looked like someone who like a little bit of Addison Rae. Ooh. um, but yeah, like it just seems like he is disingenuous and his heart's not into it. And I just feel like, again, because of the fact he's already made some targets on his back, I think it's going to be a situation in which, you know, Keanu stays for a little bit longer. It's going to piss him off, obviously. The girl that he put on the block is going to get off the block because she has the veto already, and if she earns another veto, she's going to use them two vetoes. Like she gone. So it's going to be Adrian getting sent packing. People are going to be upset that Adrian leaves because Adrian ain't did nothing wrong, and Adrian hasn't really done anything to be like unlikable by the group. Um, I feel like Rachel and some of them will probably not care that he's gone, but I think people will be a little bit emotional that Adrian's gonna go, just because you have this death wish against Keanu and it didn't work in your favor. And I think people are gonna turn on Jimmy and get him packing, and Jimmy's gonna go home. I don't think he's winning this because, again, the tactics that he's been trying are not really working. Like he's trying to run the house, and I feel like people are letting him because people are trying to play the long game. But move fast and break things don't work in this competition. Unfortunately, you're gonna get sent packing. Um, what else? I talked about Jimmy. I kind of gapped about like Will and Ava and Mickey and them. I'm excited to see Mickey like really rise up in these next couple of episodes of the season, because Mickey really is my fave. Like first of all, like that's a queen right there. She is so stunning. Like y'all, like she is so stunning. She is so gorgeous to me. Um, and she's also like really enjoyable with the like screen time that we get of her. Like she is enjoyable TV, very big personality, very like I like the girl, and I'm willing to see her to the end. Ava, I think again I talked about before. I think she's hilarious. I think that we are going to she's gonna stick in the game because she knows how to play the game, and she knows what she wants. She wants that money at the end of the game. She wants that prize money. She wants to win Big Brother, and I think she has a chance at getting it. Like I think she's playing strategically so well early on compared to a lot of the people, because like a lot of the like house guests, because there's so many house guests in the house already, and it's only week 2, they're all like, "Oh, I'm playing this game strategically," but it's really just them kind of like walking around, chilling, doing nothing, which like you can do early on in the season because there's so many house guests and there's so many people that can leave. But Ava is still active and legitimately playing strategically because she is chilling. She's kind of acting and doing like what a lot of people are doing and like quote unquote doing nothing, but she's also being bone collector. Like she's getting the tea and moving it to different people. She's like, oh, like Keanu said this about you, or oh, I think that like, oh, Jimmy said this. Like she is fence jumping down, and that is what the show needs. Like you need someone to spread the tea like that, and she's not getting caught. Like she's not getting caught, and that's the funny part. Like she's able to set this stuff up and act shocked and pretend like she wasn't the one that started this. And I think that she makes great TV in that sense. Like again, it's coming naturally to her. Um, Will, I also like Will. I think Will is growing on me. And I know like Aiden and I talked about this in the season premiere. Like we were kind of like iffy on like we kind of liked Will. We were iffy on him before the season started because it was like he's an older house guest and older house guests kind of give that vibe. And like I also was kind of like still on the fence a little bit. Like I liked him. I had a good impression of him first episode, but I was like, let's see how the rest of the season goes because who knows? He could go on a rant and go against Ava and them because they're young. Who knows? Like generation battles. I was worried about that. But Will is legitimately cutie patootie. Like he is hilarious now, and like that. Like I'm hoping he sticks it around a little bit for the season. Um, I think that's really it. 45 minutes or less than an hour. We kind of powered through. I was worried. I was like, oh, we gonna do the streams and stuff for like more than an hour. But look at God, less than an hour. Um, I will. What's on the schedule for the streams? I just talked about this, but again, for the group, the streams for this coming week are I think Tuesday for Twitch and like some like anything that's not YouTube that I'm streaming on. There's gonna be there's probably gonna be a rerun of the like recent episodes of Cake Radio. So like you'll get the um season premiere Big Brother recap as well as probably another podcast episode or something like that. So you'll be able to see that. And then Thursday is going to be Big Brother recap for the new episode that's coming out on Thursday night. Aiden will probably be joining me, so you'll have another guest hopping on the show. And I might also do I might make that a joint episode, like a Big Brother recap plus office hours, and I might just have him be like the guest for the show this week. Um, I think that could be fun. And then what is it? I think Friday. Yeah, Friday will be the premiere of Two Better Friends cast with me and Leo does voices. I'm really excited for you guys to see that. We both recorded that drunk eating Taco Bell, so y'all will be seeing me in an interesting state of mind. And so you will see them in an interesting state of mind. But we both had fun making that podcast. We talked about just giving you guys a taste of what we talked about in that episode. We were talking about dating, and I was talking about like a very interesting breakup story that I had at Lollapalooza. So hopefully you guys tune into that premiere when it comes out this Friday. Um, and I think that's it for the streams this week. I know that the last couple of streams I was like, oh, I'm gonna try to get a pre-recorded episode of the Cake Radio Show out, and I didn't do that. I'm gonna make sure that y'all get one because I know the girls is like, oh, he's streaming again. God damn. Like, like I know y'all probably a little bit sick of me, but listen, I like doing the streams. It's a hot stream summer. Like, we gonna see how this goes. Um, but yes, like that is it from me. That is the Big Brother recap for this week. I will see y'all Thursday. If you guys liked, be sure to subscribe wherever you're tuning into this on. Whether that's YouTube, Twitch, Kick, your favorite podcast platform. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know what you guys thought about the Big Brother episode. And the most recent episodes as well. Let's keep it talking. Let's talk about what's been going on. Let me know what y'all thought about Jimmy. And then what else? If you guys, enjoyed, again, share with your friends, share with your family, share with your mama, share with your baby mama. And yeah, that's it, guys.